Hi Leo, welcome to your April 2022 Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Leo, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Yes, that was a message that came through on my watch. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your April and your actions and interactions with the world at large, this month you get the Seven of Cups. All right, so I'm going to say this to you, Leo. It's going to be really easy to spin off into lots of different directions and think, you know, because there's quite a lot of optimism in the air, right? Don't forget, this month we're going to have Jupiter and Neptune come together at, I think it's on the 12th of April. Don't hold me to that. And so, yes, it's a wonderful energy, but it's also a big amount of maybe not so much clarity. So just because your actions and interactions with the world at large, this is about what you do. And the Seven of Cups can literally be spreading yourself too thin. So this month I'm going to say to you, have the optimism, have the joy, fantasize about how big and bold and bright something can be. Just keep your wits about you and be sure to make be sure to make sure, but yeah, just be sure to curb that enthusiasm to see what is actually possible here and what is probable, all right? Because somewhere in between possibility and probability is where you're going to get, like, you know, that's usually what we get, somewhere in between. So with that Seven of Cups, just measure your optimism, and try not to idealize anything to the point where you're getting away from, you know, the likely reality of things, all right? For your communications and conversations, you have the Queen of Swords. So this is not an easy card, especially for communications, because it does suggest that there could be some... especially with the Seven of Cups there, I kind of feel like this is someone getting mad at you, or somebody is getting pissed at you, and you're like, I don't really understand why you're mad at me. Like, I get that you're mad, I get that you're unhappy, or I get that I've done something wrong, but I don't really understand what. So can you kind of help me out here? That Queen of Swords does suggest that there may be some mental or verbal jousting over the course of this month. So just keep that in mind. And with that Seven of Cups here, this might be your tendency to either see things as more optimistic than they actually are, especially because of that, you know, that conjunction is moving through your 8th house, which is, you know, it is psychology and the deep stuff and the dark, and it's also the taboo. So this may be, for some of you, this might be something that you don't see eye to eye with somebody on, because you have very differing viewpoints. And it's not so much the fact that you have differing viewpoints, it may be a case that someone's looking at you from a specific point of reference, and when you don't agree with what they're saying about the specific subject matter, that might cause a problem or an issue, right? So this is one of the reasons I don't talk about religion, I don't talk about politics, because they are divisive by their very nature and they cause a whole heap of shit that really nobody needs in their lives, right? But this may be a week, this might be a month where you are drawn into something like this inadvertently, and it's like, once you give your opinion, especially if it's very publicly, right? So there are certain things that I would never put out on my channel or on my thing, right? Because they are my personal opinions, thoughts and beliefs, and you know, and not to say any of them are controversial, darling, which, I mean, they probably are to someone, you know, and this is the beauty of life. We all have our thoughts and our opinions on everything that's taking place at the moment. I just don't know how, like, to you know, to sidetrack for a moment, it's not helpful for me to put things out that I know people are probably going to disagree with. So I mean, do great for my numbers, you know, you send myself, you know, up the feed and all of that, but I don't need that, you know, that's not what fulfills me in life. But this This could be literally you're having words, you're having an argument with somebody, you're having quite a serious discussion, potentially something that ends up with paperwork, etc. And you could be really surprised by this because it's like, okay, I get that you're pissed, but why? Like, it's just not that important. So as an example, let's say your friend says to you, you know, and this is a really, really stupid example, but let's say your friend says to you, the Beatles were the greatest band that ever lived. And you're like, I don't really get the whole thing about the Beatles. I really just don't get it. I'm sure they were great, whatever. And your friend is like, what did you just say? Do you know what I mean? Like, your opinion could be really unpopular. Doesn't mean you're not entitled to it. So that being said, when it comes to the work sphere or the professional sphere or the academic sphere, just be mindful that this month you may get a little bit of heat this month and you're kind of like at a loss as to why. Like, what is the thing that I said or did that really kind of set a cat amongst the pigeons? On the other side of this could literally see you defending something that actually you want to stand for and that you're refusing to take shit for. One of my personal favorite sayings that I coined when I think it was about 19 is, people love that you don't take any shit until they try to give you some. No. For your money and materials, you've got the Two of Swords, which can be a card of oppositions, right? So money, finances, resources, these may be some conversations that you're having. Now, a thread runs through this. Yes, not the easiest of cards, but what I do like about this is the thread that runs through these cards, and when we look at them as a triplet, there's this understanding that whatever you are doing this month, you are holding true to a vision that you have conceived. You're holding true to something that you have either wanted to do for a long time, that you envisioned a long time ago, and you are holding to this. It's like a powerful moment of self-honesty and self-driven energy. And with this Two of Swords, it does suggest that there's either like the birth of some uneasy partnership. Maybe there is a moment where you're going to have to hash something out with a friend or a colleague. Maybe there's a moment where you're maybe divesting your time, your energies, or even your interests with another person or party. That Two of Swords is really asking you to trust your gut when it comes to your finances, your money, materials. This is a month to really trust your gut hunches, because they are not going to steer you wrong. They never will, right? I say this to everybody. Clients, you know, other signs when I do their videos, like, it's something that I truly, genuinely believe in the core of who I am. Your intuition and your gut instinct will never lead you wrong. You can get into shit because you ignore it. That's a whole other kettle of fish, maybe for another day. Now, for your heart and half sector, you've got the Eight of Pentacles. So this could be the partner's work. And it's really interesting because all of the signs this month, there seems to be a lot happening in the work sphere within the heart and half sector. So I'm kind of intrigued by this. I don't, you know, I'd be interested to see how it plays out on the wider world stage. When it comes to work, your work, the partner's work, this could, for some of you, it could be a divisive issue. For others, and I'm going to say this, for those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, if you're going to step in on behalf of your significant other, be sure that you have been invited to do so, right? This could be one of those things where maybe your other half falls out with a colleague or a friend or maybe even a family member, and you step in to say something, and then bam, all of a sudden your partner is on World War, you know, let's not actually even tempt fate by saying things in jest right now. Your partner then weighs in on you and you're like, okay, I get that you're mad, but why? Like, I just tried to defend you. This may be one of those situations where, you know, like if you've ever seen Miss Congeniality, the bit in the beginning where she's like, I really like you, and she beats up the guy's bully, and he's like, now everyone thinks a girl needs to defend me. I don't think it's so much that. I think it's more a case of I was going to deal with it, or I was dealing with it, and you weighing in has kind of made, you know, you could be inadvertently taking someone else's power by trying to actually help them. So just be careful with that. Now, when it comes to work on the relationship or within the relationship, this is a good month really to start considering hearing where you and your partner either need to get it together and move ahead with something, or you need to divest your interests. For those of you that are single, one of the things that I will say to you here, because it is the Eight of Pentacles, maybe you are noticed by someone, maybe there are potentials around you that you're just not seeing, and the reason you're not seeing them is because you are so far into what you're doing at the moment. I think this is going to be a very busy month in terms of work, which is one of the reasons I say, you know, don't try to do too much at once. Your first week of the month, you have the Fool card. New things, new places, new people. This is the birth of something new that you have envisioned for a long time. This first week of the month, because as we launch right into April, like literally on the 1st of April, we've got the Aries new moon. Now for you, Leo, this is wonderful because it's a fellow fire sign to start with, but it's also that sort of driving energy to initiate something. If there's something that you want to initiate, that you want to go a long way, or that you want to start with a bang, use that Aries new moon to set the intention or set the ball rolling with it. All right. Now, because you've got the Fool card here, don't be foolhardy, right? So yes, the energy, the tide of energy is great. It's working with you. It's harmonious energy to you because it's a trine. That's wonderful. Don't now suddenly think, well, you know, it's Aries time, so I can just do everything. No, you can't. Measure it, right? So that what you put your time, effort, and energy into goes further. The more, like, if you do this with your energy, that's pretty good, and it's easy and it's sustainable. If you add this, okay, it's a little bit unbalanced. If you do this and this and this and this, suddenly your energy is going in way too many directions. So this is a time to really think about where it's going. For your second week of the month, you've got the Devil card with the Queen of Swords. So this, to me, if I'm completely honest with you, you'll know. As soon as this hits, you'll know. And quite frankly, this is somebody that obviously has a problem with you, somebody that's got a bee in their bonnet, somebody that has an issue. And quite frankly, because they come up as the devil, they are the squeaky wheel. This person wants to make noise, they want to cause trouble, they want to cause you hassle because you either haven't done something for them, you haven't given them something. Maybe they just want your attention or your time, but watch out for this. Don't bite to it, don't rise to it. Yeah, that's as much as I'll say there. I think that's self-explanatory. So we've got the High Priestess underneath the Two of Swords. This is literally, in the tarot, this combination means a true psychic. It's the signature, the only signature that indicates a true psychic. So, or a very psychic situation or dream or whatever. Pay attention to your dreams, your instincts, your hunches, any part of you that is intuitive, which as a Leo, you're a giant cat. Cats are very psychic beings. Wherever you feel, if you've been watching any of the new Spider-Man, wherever your Peter tingle goes, I call it my spidey senses because I prefer that. But when your spidey senses tingle in this third week of the month, this could be, it could be a realization, it could be an understanding, it could be a dream, it could be a prophetic word, it could be, I don't really like the word download, but it could be a download, it could be an idea that comes to you fully formed. Pay attention at this time because it could be very, very lucrative for you. And I love this, all right? For what I will also say as well when it comes to your finances, this might be a time where, you know, for some of you, this might literally be, you should stop paying for this, or you should stop putting your money into that. Like if it tells you should stop paying your rent, let's not be out here being homeless in 2022, all right? Like I'm deadly serious here. If you get like a word like, you know, stop paying for that subscription, you're going to find something else that's better. You know, don't buy that car because there's going to be something better. Like whatever it is, just pay attention to your intuition at this time. If you're thinking about going to a psychic, a tarot reader, an astrologer or whatever, that person may at this time, because of the way the energies are, be super psychic and could be that much more accurate for you. It could also be that at that time your your chosen intuitive professional is really bang on the money. All right, so this could be really, really great. For your 4th week of the month, you've got the Moon card, and you've got this underneath the 8 of Pentacles. Things are not, they could be very deep at this time in relationships, but they're maybe not necessarily as clear as you would like them. And the Moon with the High Priestess, this would be, again, pay attention to your dreams, your hunches, your nudges. You've got this with the 2 of Swords and the 8 of Pentacles. If a partner, a loved one, or even just a family member comes to you and says, oh, I'm thinking about doing this, and your gut says to you, this is a bad idea, please don't do it, you have an obligation to tell them, right? One of the things that separates true gifted souls, readers, I don't care what your medium is, whether you're a medium, a tarot reader, a psychic, a seer, a mystic, a witch, whatever you want to call yourself. One of the things that truly separates the good from the great, from the not so good or not so great, is your ability to speak on what you get when you get it. They trust you enough to give you the information. You have to trust you and your gift and them enough to deliver it when it comes, which is one of the reasons I always talk about the hard stuff. Not sitting here saying, oh, look at me, that makes me amazing. What I'm saying is that's what differentiates a lot of them. High horse moment done. Your new moon message is the gate 15 and humanity. And this new moon is really able to tap you into something bigger, bolder and higher. But it's also a time where, so this new moon, and so therefore this whole month, and especially this first week, this could be a time of giving birth to something completely new, something completely novel that truly does help or aid the collective in some way, shape or form. And it could be something truly special for you as well. For your full moon message, you have the gate 49 and revolution. I love this. So this card is actually called, or it represents in human design, what's known as the sleeping phoenix. It's a very rare and very powerful energy. One that a lot of the people that are just coming into their sort of adulthood now are starting to, they carry this energy. So we're already in the throes of many revolutions, as we know. But this full moon is going to really look, and it falls right underneath the High Priestess, right underneath the 2 of Swords. That's probably around the time that we're going to be having that full moon. Yeah, there's something about this that really does feel like it's going to either wake you up, switch you on, or reveal to you the steps on your path that you should be taking. And I got a funny feeling this is going to be quite shocking for a lot of people, because it may reveal to you where your margin for error is very narrow. It might reveal to you that you're actually, what you thought was years away is actually just here and you're about to walk into it. It could be as well that you think it's within reaching distance, and then you suddenly look again and you're like, holy crap, I've got ages to go. This full moon, I really feel like is going to be a time of revelation, let alone a time of revolution. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic month. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.